There you go.
Good morning. Good morning. This
Good
is Abundance
morning.
Book Club Live. Holly and I are going to be talking about our book that we're reading this month, The Audacity to Be Queen. We're going to be talking about living a fabulous lifestyle and creating contribution. And then we're also going to be talking a bit about mediocrity, because that is one that sneaks into the space. So if you have just recently started watching us and you have not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any of these amazing conversations. If you want to jump into the book club and enjoy all of the fun with us and read right along with us, we have a Facebook group that the link to that group will be in the comments for you, so you can click on it and join us. Holly, so
Good
excited.
morning.
Good morning. So this conversation is about how, and I'll just read it the way that it is. So queenhood is about a fabulous lifestyle and a woman making her contribution in the world at the highest level. And I think that we have, over the years looking back, we've had so many examples of women who either made a massive contribution or lived a fabulous lifestyle.
Right.
So to talk about them in the same space is something that's new for us all, but it's so important because if we look at, Mother Teresa is someone we all admire and look up to. And
that was the first person I thought of when you said that.
Right? But who goes, oh my gosh, I'm going to give up my whole life and be Mother Teresa? Some people do, and it's phenomenal and it's honorable and admirable and all the things. But if we don't hold a space for the ability to walk both paths at the same time, then we're not, my opinion is that we're not holding a space for others to choose it, because it almost feels like we're choosing our life or we're choosing making a difference when we can actually choose both. Like there's no reason to give up one or the other.
Absolutely. And in making a difference, not maybe I shouldn't say shouldn't, but like, shouldn't you be paid for that? Right? Like, shouldn't you expect to receive in accordance to how you're giving, right? And how you're putting out into the world and how you're contributing. Even the Bible talks about receiving tenfold, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing that comes up for me, and I talk about it all the time, it's so important. So we can only give what we've allowed ourselves to receive.
Oh.
So if you're out
Guilty.
there, right? It's like, no, let me just give. Okay, well, how much can you give if you aren't letting it in? And even for Mother Teresa, I'm sure some of the challenges that, as well known as she was well supported and people contributed to her mission. But at some point, you're looking at, if it's completely external, all of the things that are contributing to the mission, to the things that are moving the mission forward, the impact level can't be as high unless we've allowed ourselves to receive. And I guess, there's probably some people that would go, well, great, receive, but that doesn't mean that you actually receive it and use it for your own benefit and live a fabulous lifestyle, right? So I'm sure there's other ways of seeing this that people have, which are fine. There's none of them that are wrong, but I do love that this book is taking a stand for that we don't have to sacrifice a life that we love to make a contribution. We don't have to choose between the two.
Right. And so often we're told in business, like, oh, all of your income that comes in your business needs to turn around and be reinvested into the business. And it's a taboo thing to say, no, pay yourself first and then reinvest into your business, right? Like it's this taboo thing to be like, okay, no, you get to take a paycheck from what you've earned, like what you've worked for. I think it's kind of interesting to think about it in that term too. So, because people will just funnel it all right back into the business, it all right back down again into the go and build, right?
Yeah. I've also seen a lot of business owners who have gotten backlash for their long lashes and their nails and, this and that. And it's like, nothing wrong with any of those things. Like if that's what they love and they're making a difference, why can't they have both? Why can't they make a difference and make an impact and be a stand for what it is that they believe gets to be seen and heard and experienced in the world, and enjoy the things that they love as well? It's just
And that's a
wild.
damned if you do, damned if you don't moment, honestly.
Right.
Seriously, I'm showing up today with no makeup on and I'm gonna get it, but I have the necklace, right? So
Right.
whatever
You show
you
up
do.
imperfect and somebody's gonna take a hit that way. If you show, it's so funny that you said that because you look great, you're glowing. But it is funny that that all of the stories, not just in our own head, in our own head is one thing, right? The story I was on earlier this week, or maybe it was last week, and hadn't gotten my hair completely dried and had the same thing. I'm like, oh well. But the stories in our own head of not doing enough, not being enough, all of the things. But then we have the external, taking, like, women, come on, let's stand for each other. Like, we get to hold
Yeah.
each other high because that's where we're really going to make the biggest impact, right? But yeah, that others will, like you said, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if you show up not enough, somebody might take a hit there. If you show up fabulous, somebody
Then
might take
it's
a
too
hit there,
much.
right?
There's never a just perfect. There's never a just perfect, especially not across the board. Like there's
Yeah.
never just a just perfect. So
Yeah,
you
and
get
I
to be
will
perfect for
say,
yourself, right? Like it's your version of perfect. And you get
yeah.
to let go of what everybody else gets to say.
Yeah, and I will say that's really hard to do.
Uh-huh.
But for me, this year, what's been amazing is, because of judgment, because of people, some people choosing to be judgmental, it has allowed me to go, oh, yeah, there's people that will do that. It's just going to happen. And all right, here we go anyway. So it is actually a blessing in a way. It was very much a blessing for me when we do come up against those things, because it allows us to um, dive into something so deep within us that can say, yeah, I don't care. It's not going to phase me. I mean, sure, we might feel it, but at the end of the day, if we know it's going to happen and we give up the need for it, to try to stop it or fix it or do things
Mm-hmm.
so perfectly that it doesn't happen, giving up that need really creates a foundation for us to stand on and make that forward movement powerfully in whatever it is that we're here to do.
And it's all about trust, right? You're trusting yourself. You're trusting that you are in the right space at the right time. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, exactly when you're supposed to be there, exactly how you're supposed to show up. Makeup and necklace, makeup and nothing, like whatever. However, you're supposed to show up is exactly what is supposed to happen at that time. And it's that trust that is so hard to build. But once you recognize and realize that you are your own rock, when you are your own rock of trust, or you have that faith underneath you and you build your rock on your faith, those two things that play together so strongly, you don't need to worry about the rain that comes down to try to wash your rock clean, right?
Yeah,
You don't need to
absolutely.
worry about the little trickles that come in, because you got this and it's nice and solid and it's this firm foundation underneath you. The winds of criticism can blow all they want, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Trust is such a beautiful word. And, a lot of times I remember talking to someone one time, and we're just talking about the word trust in general. And he was saying, well, there's people that have definitely shown me that I can't trust them. So just trusting in general doesn't work. And it was a beautiful moment for me to go, yeah, that's really true. I kind of went from not trusting anyone to trusting everyone to going, wait a minute, that's not a good idea. But really, what it is when we trust ourselves. And of course, trusting our divine connection, our connection to God, and our support that is in throughout the universe, that's built into the universe, that allows us to be supported. But when we trust ourselves, we can trust how we're going to navigate the situation. We trust how we handle situations where someone else isn't trustworthy, and all of those things. So it is the
Well,
foundation.
and we trust our judgment, right? We trust our own intuition about whether or not we can trust that person. And when we have that kind of level of self-trust, then we trust our own decisions. We trust our decision making.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. So the next piece is about mediocrity, which I've done a lot of in my life, and it's completely the opposite of living a fabulous lifestyle.
Oh, it's so easy to slip into. It's so easy to just live the same day over and over and over.
Yeah. Yeah. So just using the words, this isn't for me. She said, one of the things she said in the book, this isn't for me. My soul screamed in protest. How many times have we just had a pause moment? I know for myself, I've had those moments where I was pretending and pretending and pretending that I was fine with the situation or whatever was going on in my life. And when I paused, I truly heard my soul screaming, this isn't for me. And how I had chosen to allow myself to be in mediocrity and to live a life that wasn't fully expressed, that wasn't fully me. I mean, there's still ways that I am discovering this about myself. I mean, another book that I'm reading right now is by Lisa Bilio. And she wears the braids, and she was talking about how she shaved the back of her hair. And I totally identify with all of that. And I was raised, more of the dresses and this and that. So there's still parts of me that's still opening up and unleashing, and it's all perfect. But that piece where I've paused and listened to my soul and heard it scream, this isn't for me. Stop, shackling me. Stop putting me in the cage. Definitely been there. And mediocrity, I think, is one of the things that a lot of women experience when we pause and notice and feel into. And it doesn't have to be, mediocrity doesn't have to be not living a fabulous lifestyle. It can be just as simple as what I was saying of like, I really want to do something crazy like wear red lipstick and I'm not, right?
Oh, crazy. Get crazy, Tabitha, and wear red lipstick. I mean,
the thing that came to mind. Yeah. But whatever it is for another person, in other words, it can be so tiny. Like it can be something that's so small. And in those small, tiny choices is where we build the muscle, where we build the confidence and all of the things to build into the fabulous lifestyle that we truly want.
Yeah. And it goes back to trust again, right? Are we trusting our soul? Are we trusting that path? Are we trusting when those little hits come that say, grab the red lipstick, right? Grab the red lipstick today.
Yeah.
Are we trusting that? Or are we shoving that and bottling it down and being like, no, that's not appropriate today.
Right? So funny. Red lipstick is not appropriate. Yeah, that's funny that one came out of my mouth. And another thing that I think is important to bring forward is it's not about the lashes and the red lipsticks. For someone, it might be about backpacking through the Alps or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Ziplining in Costa Rica 2 weeks ago.
Right. That a fabulous lifestyle isn't glitz. In other words, it is whatever is the opposite of mediocrity for each individual.
Absolutely. And it can be so many different things, right? It's whatever your soul is called to, your heart is just screaming for in your life, and you're kind of putting it in a box. Yeah.
And there's ways that we're all still putting it in a box, and there's ways that we're all stepping into our fabulous lifestyle. So this just gets to be a reminder for us all to grab the red lipstick.
Lift the lid, peek out of the box.
Yeah. Yeah. Do something crazy. All right. Well, on that note, we get to start choosing some crazy things to do on this live. I want to see your makeup next time, Holly.
Okay. It's really not that fabulous.
Just kidding. We're getting a little bit silly over here, but really it is the little things. It is the little things that we get to really, as women, stand for each other, celebrate each other, and really notice Notice when our soul is feeling caged, noticing when our soul is saying, this is not for me, and being honest about it, letting the words out of our mouth, trusting, like you said, ourselves, but trusting the other person too, trusting the women around us to stand for us and say, all right, what is for you? Let's hear it. Come on. Right. And really pulling it forward within each other.
Absolutely. And no matter how long you have decided to live that mediocrity, when you sit and you notice actually taking action to step through it, like to step into that greatest life, taking that one little step. And even if it's one little step, there's a talk out there somewhere about the pilot that was like, if you turn the plane 1 degree and you keep flying, you land in a completely different location, right? Yeah. So that one step off your normal mediocrity path can take you in a completely different direction toward your fabulous, amazing life.
Yes. All right. Let's do something super fun for everyone watching. What we want to know in the comments today is, what is something that you are doing that is just tiny? It's a tiny little 1 degree off from your current path, but it is something that you are choosing in the direction of your fabulous life. I don't care if you have, actually, I've never had lashes, so this is just coming up because a friend of mine loves them. But if you've always wanted lashes and you've never gotten them and you're deciding that you're getting them today, then we want to know that. If you are backpacking through the Alps, going big, going all in, we want to know that today. So put in the comments, what is it that you are choosing today that is 1 more degree in the direction of your fabulous life? Tell us about it. Mine's
book the trip. Book the trip.
Book it. Whatever it is. Yep. All right. We are going to wrap up for today. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe if you have not already. Holly, thank you so much for having this amazing conversation.
I love seeing you, Tabitha. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. And we will see